So Scott, maybe you help us here. We're focus a little bit more on the tech transfer part. Is that
Yeah,
uh
I'll take
yeah,
that. I'll
yeah.
take that. So Chad's question really is how do you score it during tech transfer and now analyze that risk impact for that tech transfer. And boy, as the sending unit, as a small company, I have to think about the risk on my side and what kind of documents I'm going to send over to the receiving unit or the receiving company. And then, in my opinion and in my experience, a lot of those companies then do a gap assessment on what they see in the documents that I've sent. So they'll look at those gaps and they'll say, it doesn't quite fit. I might have to buy a piece of equipment. And now that I've got to buy that piece of equipment, how do I validate that equipment, get it installed, and all these things that are required? Um, other risks are, well, assay transfer as well. So we've got to transfer those assays. Sorry, there's a fly. Got to transfer those assays and how those assays will work within that facility. So do they have the same equipment? Is it like for like, or is it a similar change that is occurring from where I developed my process to where I transferred it, or from CDMO A to CDMO B? How do I make sure that they have the same or similar equipment? So all of those questions come in, and then if they don't have the same or similar, then I start to do an FMEA, and I start to say there's a risk. X piece of equipment doesn't exist at this place. What will happen to my assay if that X piece of equipment doesn't exist? And how do I mitigate against that risk? And I go through all of that scoring to say, okay, we can accept that risk, or we can't, or we have to mitigate this risk. And that's really what it is. You have to standardize unit op by unit op, piece of equipment by piece of equipment, in order to understand what risks you have, which risks you're willing to accept, and what risks you have to mitigate. And the collaboration with the CDMO or the CRO is key to doing that. If they're not telling you everything, you're not going to do a good tech transfer.